Yeah,
They say we make our own thing. It's not as hi-fi as everybody else's, but guess what? You ain't getting Mario or Zelda anywhere else, bitches.
The only area that they wanna corner and have since never uncorner is the handheld market.
Nobody can destroy Nintendo in the handheld market. That's already been proven.
Yeah.
Because literally every other handheld console has failed since the advent of the Game Boy.
It was funny. My wife and I were just having this conversation yesterday.
So,
but it's true. Like, I'm a big time gamer too. I own every old system, and I don't have any of the current gen except the Switch because I find that system to be fun. I don't have time or the dedication for the PS4, and I hate everything Xbox, so just the way it was. I'm a PC gamer.
Yeah. But it's one of those things, it's all about when people like stuff, they could, and I know it's not the same case every week. I know people, they like one thing, they don't necessarily like the little version of that. And you also have the indie wrestling fanboys that think that they're better than everybody because they only support indie wrestling and don't watch WWE and remind you of it all the time, which to me is just as bad as the WWE fanboys crapping on indie wrestling. It's the same concept, just the reverse direction.
That is true.
And again, if you like what you like it. But stop crapping on the other thing because I guarantee you're in the minority.
Well, especially since you've said it. If you're not watching the product, you have no reason to bitch about it.
I don't bitch about Impact anymore. I haven't watched Impact in years. Why should I bitch about it? It doesn't affect me. And the only things I see from Impact now are Chris Levin matches. Because he's the hashtag babyface ref, and I know him. But I know him personally, so of course I'm going to watch. It's always interesting to see your friend reffing because you're trained so hard as wrestling fans to not pay attention to the refs that it's kind of hard to watch a match for the referee. But it's also fun to do that. Like the first time I did a show with Chris Decker as the ref, I was actually struggling because I'm like kind of into the match, but I'm also watching the ref.
Yep. I pay attention when I like the referee. Like ones that like Bryce Remsburg or Rick Knox who like do commentary and stuff at times. He kind of like, draws you to them.
Right.
So I pay attention to what they're doing.
But yeah, I think that was a good discussion to open up our show there. Let us know what you guys think about the whole toxic fandom thing. Like, do you feel like these fans, like, do you feel like they don't have a right to complain the way they do, or do you feel like the way they're complaining is justified, even if they are calling for, people to get hurt and injured and all other stuff, which I think is ridiculous, but apparently people think it's cool. So let us know in the comments.
And now it's time for the biggest news of the week. Adam Ryland is working on Total Extreme Wrestling 2020.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. Hashtag breaking news. All right, we do have some news. We have a lot of news this week. Lots and lots of news. Some ridiculous news and some sad news. We'll start with the sad. We had 2 legends pass away this week. Dynamite Kid passed away, and the next day, Larry the Axe Hennig passed away. Really sad to lose both of those icons. Dynamite's case, I mean, I've always felt really bad for him because he's been crippled since like the late 90s.
Yeah.
So you can imagine his way of life has just not been.
So it's sadly, it's kind of a blessing in disguise. But
well, what's depressing about it is he was such a recluse and so inhospitable for so long and so bitter, and he was finally softening up in his later years. Like, he was starting to do interviews again. He was starting to communicate with people. I know Brett was always posting a lot of stuff about going to see him and like, man, we haven't seen each other in years. He just didn't want to talk to anybody, and now he's feeling better about everything. So I'm glad he made that peace at the end of his life. That's for sure.
Right.
Larry the Axe Hennig, I mean, that really sucks because that's a really crappy 2 days, especially for Curtis Axel. considering that he lost his grandfather and his inspiration pretty much like within those 2 days. So you gotta really feel for a guy like him. I haven't seen that much Larry the X Hennig because of how old school he is, and I just, unless I'm watching that Twitch channel with all those old matches from like the 50s and 60s, or I catch something really old school on the network or find a gem on YouTube, it's hard to find a lot of those really good old stuff. They're just not as readily accessible. But you can find some Larry the X Hennig matches, and dude was great. He was way ahead of his time, just like his son.
Yeah. Well, that's exactly it. And it really makes, for Curtis Axel, because he's now lost, he is a third generation wrestler, and he lost the previous 2 generations.
Yeah. So I'd like to see them, of course, I've always said I'd like to see them do a lot. I thought that B-Team gimmick was actually going to get him and Bo Dallas somewhere because they were getting over, and then they just quickly lost the tag titles, and we haven't seen anything from them since, really. Real shame, too. I think Axel's one of those workhorse guys. He's going to be around pretty much forever unless he decides to leave. Like, they're going to always hold on to him, but they're not going to utilize him.
Yeah.
Speaking of people who are not being utilized and may be on the way out to very good tag teams that WWE is not utilizing in any way, shape. One, of course, are the Good Brothers of Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson,
who aren't getting used at all.
And the other team is the Revival, who is kind of sort of doing stuff, but also not really.
They're being jobbed.
They're tweeting about wanting to face the Young Bucks. It ain't gonna happen if the Young Bucks come in at the same time they leave.
That's true.
Also true.
But both teams are saying that they're very likely to be contracts are up. Gallows and Anderson and their contract they debuted shortly after Mania, so that's an April or May deal. Revival is rumored to be April because that's when their call-up was, so that would have been when they kicked in. So, yeah, after Mania season, we might be seeing some there, which probably is not the worst thing because they're going to do excellent everywhere they go. I mean, Gallows and Anderson are already a proven commodity.
And they're probably, well, not for nothing, but Gallows and Anderson are probably headed back to New Japan.
Oh, my God, yeah. Or they'll be working for Cody.
Or they'll work for Cody.
Which, by the way, the Big E, not Big E, but the Big E is not worried about Cody's promotion as they claim to be.
And at this point, rightfully so.
But I would absolutely keep an eye on that because they have the potential to grow faster than any other independent that's formed so far. At least it feels that way.
It all depends.
It does, and we shall see. So we got some news involving women this week. First things first, Sasha and Bayley officially dropped the women's tag titles reference on Raw. So finally gonna at least attempt to start moving forward with that.
About damn time. They've had the titles ready for like 6.
Seriously. We have a new NXT announcer. Name is Alicia Warrington, now known as Alicia Taylor. And she purdy.
Yep.
They usually
Although,
are.
Well, I know a lot of people are on the Charlie Caruso bandwagon, and I have nothing against her, but Kathy Kelly is where it's at for female announcers. I think she's prettier than even Renee. That's just my opinion.
I totally think that she should be announcing.
Yeah, I think so too. By the way, how great has Renee Young been since she's got a full-time role? She's so good. She's so natural.
She's been fantastic. The only slight I have against her being out there is every time they bring up anything about Dean, they go to her, and she's just like, stop.
Yeah, I was just about to say that because it actually the whole reality show thing is actually what's killing that storyline. They're just like, Renee, you have to have some insight. Can't they just let that go and not acknowledge it?
Seriously.
it actually takes you out of kayfabe, and that makes me angry.
Yeah, every time it happens, every week. And I know it's probably not him, it's probably Vince in his ear, but fuck.
Oh, sure, but still, like, just stop. there's a lot of that whole just stop thing. News on the Becky Lynch front. They still haven't technically cleared her from the nasal fracture. Concussion cleared, nasal fracture no. So they're keeping an asterisk next to that TLC match, which they freaking better not.
I agree.
I think they've pissed off people enough with that.
They're expecting her to be cleared in time. But just in case, they're covering their bases.
Mark Henry did mention on a podcast this week that Alexa Bliss is 100% cleared. They're just basically just doing a precautionary thing now.
She's been working in the PC.
Yeah. Plus, they're really liking the role she's doing, her non-wrestling role. So we might still be getting that, which I'm okay with because it's not Corbin.
Mm-hmm.
Much easier on the eyes than Baron Corbin.
Agreed.
Hey, and speaking of Baron Corbin, his doppelganger debuted on NXT this week.
That is 100% true. In a losing effort, but a really, really good match for what it was.
Yeah, check out Matt Riddle and Punishment Martinez.
Who were formerly tag team.
Indeed. One more, actually two more big notes about the women's division. There are rumors that they're going to do a Queen of the Ring tournament for another all-female pay-per-view. Yep. Great idea.
I thought so when I heard that. I was like, hell yeah, I'm all aboard that. They said they did say they don't know how that would affect the possibility of a Mae Young Classic 3, but I don't think it will. I don't think it would or should, because
I don't think
you should
they
use all your main roster for that.
I don't think they should do a Mae Young Classic. I think they should stick to the pay-per-view format and do and bring in talent. That's what I would do. I think that would be a better plan.
That'd be one way. You know, have your main roster against new people you're signing in, or the 18 that you signed from Mae Young Classic 2 that probably aren't being used yet.
I also believe they should do a weekly all-women show.
I agree with that as well.
With all the women's from all the rosters.
Yeah, including the UK.
In fact, I've been toying with that plan for CKCC Web Wrestling to split and do a separate all-women's show. And if anybody would like to see that, let me know, and I'll do it.
Yes.
Of course, every week there's a new story about Nia Jax having heat. This time it was Matthew Palmer, an indie worker who is also married to Ember Moon. And when Nia was set to work Ember Moon on Raw, he tweeted, "I hope this unsafe moron doesn't hurt my wife again." He deleted the tweet, but damn, it got screenshotted, and that's all.
It most certainly did.
It's out there. It's out there. Biggest news about the women's division, though, has nothing to do with wrestling at all. And I saw this story, and my jaw dropped when I saw this. Mandy Rose. Y'all know Mandy Rose. She's on SmackDown. She is that blonde that's like a different stage of hot. She's like literally one of the hottest women that's ever graced the planet. Like, everybody I know thinks she's hot. Who was
formerly a tomboy before becoming...
It's funny because I'm not usually into blondes, but she's literally like the hottest woman that's almost ever existed.
Yeah.
So, of course, who's going to take notice of her? Everybody, including a very, very lucrative industry that's very prevalent on the internet.
You know why the internet was created?
Oh, yeah, they say it in Avenue Q. So there's a company called Bang Brothers, which I think is just the greatest friggin' name for a company ever. And it has nothing to do with Diamond Dallas Page, by the way. So don't be Googling Bang Brothers hoping to see DDP and Pat. Because I guarantee you, DDP and Pat are not the Bang Brothers.
Or are they?
They are. Well, hey, I think we found our title for the show.